Okay, hello everyone. It is March 8th, 2023. It is International Women's Day. We are in the first day of 2 years of Saturn and Pisces, which, gosh, that just sounds so funny. But that is real because the last time Saturn was in Pisces is when I opened my art center. Saturn wants to bring our dreams into reality, and International Women's Day is actually when I launched my online programs in 2009. So you creatively fit coaches will laugh at this, and anyone, you all will laugh at this. But so I created this international launch of the creatively fit online programs. My friend Christy, who she and I own the wine bar and the art center together, we went to New York. And I made postcards that showed opposite colors. And I stood outside of MoMA passing out these postcards so that when people looked at the art, they could understand opposite colors, because that had just freaked me out when I learned that at my art center, taking a painting class from another teacher at my art center. I knew nothing when I opened, literally. We carried this huge canvas around that said "Create Change" on it. And I did book signings at like a Vosges chocolate shop, at the East West bookstore. And on International Women's Day, I had designed a banner for International Women's Day with Women for Women. And it had, those doves that were on that Peace t-shirt, like the Picasso like doves. Right. So this is classic. I had been communicating with Women for Women back and forth, and the founder, Zainab Salbi, her mother was a painter and an artist, and she and I had connected at a conference. And anyway, we'd had some miscommunication about designing this banner because they had great graphics, and then I wanted to create something that everyone could paint on, right? And like 12 days before the event, I'm still in Nashville, and they're like, no, we want you to do the banner. So anyway, I remember in that moment, I was at the park with my kids who were little, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could totally stress about this or just let the inspiration come. Because I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't do like hearts and peace signs, right? And so anyway, that afternoon, I was at my daughter's basketball game, and I'm coming out of the gym, and I literally like body slammed into this woman who was wearing that light blue t-shirt from the 70s that said "Peace" and had the dove on it. And I was just like, doves, that's it. So I drew all these doves, and one of my wine suppliers printed it on a banner. We marched it across the Brooklyn Bridge with like the president of Ireland, who was a woman at the time, and Naomi Campbell and Tim Gunn and Zainab. And anyway, and then everyone painted on it. It was a total trip. But I like just created this launch in New York City just because I say so. Right? Like we can create so many things just from within, from our own personal sovereignty, from our conviction and our purpose in that bigger call, right? And I realized sometime yesterday, because the next Creatively Fit coaching training is coming up, which means I get to write email sequences, which any of you, who are online or whatever, we're not like, yay, write new emails. And I know to like relax into it and allow kind of the angle or the message or something to come through. And what I realized is all of us, whether you're a creatively fit coach or not, we're like artivists, right? So like instead of activists, we're artivists. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue like activists. But that's really what we're doing. We're all passionate about our creativity. If you're here with me, you're not here to become like the perfect technique fine artist. If you are, I mean, really, you should just go find someone else, because that's not what I'm about at all. It's about that inner creative energy, that flow that we all have access to, that only taps into potential, that only knows possibility, that knows like it knows that there are way more solutions than problems. There really are. It's just a shift in mindset. And for some reason, this painting practice, which is super simple and accessible and open and very dynamic and transformative, this painting practice activates this inner knowing. And many of you have experienced, right? Like how much calmer you feel or less stressed, or how you're taking bolder action in your life. You could type in the chat, like what have been the gifts from your painting practice? Because it's not about product, right? That's how we were raised. The old story was, well, so-and-so has talent. Or like the art teacher that told me drawing wasn't my thing. It'd be like a elementary school teacher being like, yeah, writing, you probably shouldn't write. It's not really your thing, right? So we have this old story around creativity, and then this new one that is all about creating the art that is your life, right? And understanding how we can do that more and more authentically. Like you're here to create your life your way. Do it absolutely your way. And that's what this painting practice can unlock. It can show you where you get stuck, where, your inner perfectionist takes over, your inner critic, where you get too detail oriented, or, just comparing yourself to others instead of just losing yourself in the process. And I'm not saying I'm there every time. And it's got this amazing ability to continue to kind of meet us where we are. Many of you know, I realized in Colombia, whenever I travel, there's like a thing that comes up, a theme, an object for growth. And for me, it was around control, like all the little ways or big ways that I control, but they're not the normal, at least I don't think they're the normal control freak ways. They're more like trying to control things for the good, trying to help people, trying to control, make sure my dad has like the best possible dementia experience. I mean, whatever. But I noticed it in my painting too, when I really let go of control and just let go of giving a fuck about what it looks like in the end. That's when the paintings get rich and juicy, right? So artivists, we're helping to activate that within people. And in the first open studio, I think I kind of put out a challenge, like, let's all try, like, what if we all set the intention to bring 1 or 2 or 3 new people to the canvas this month? Like, even if it's just them kind of making a mark on your first layer, that can unlock a lot for people. So today in this open studio, we're going to get to the painting. We're going to allow this International Women's Day to guide us. So you are completely welcome to be working on something else, a painting that you already have started. I'm piggybacking on the painting I started in the first open studio. So if you watch the first open studio and you have that painting, or just whatever, okay? But let's take a moment and connect to this creative frequency. And I'm gonna show you the painting. I had to start it a little bit because talking and painting and trying to draw something I've never really drawn before is not advanced. Okay, can you guys tell what this is? Type in the chat if you can if you can discern from this hot mess what is going on here. It's a symbol for me of the feminine. Yes, mushrooms. I'm doing my first mushroom painting. So we'll see, it'll get clearer and clearer. So I outlined a bunch of mushrooms and then I started going around the outside, the background, so I could see them. So here's my theory, okay? Creativity, the environment, Mother Earth, and women in general. So like our creative rights, our earth environment rights, and our women's rights. The story of creativity, of the earth, and of women are all connected. Like as one rises, the other rises. We can't really get to a place where we're taking care of Mother Earth and still be suppressing and raping and limiting the mobility and the knowledge of women, right? And we can't raise our creative frequency and continue to destroy our planet and oppress women, right? Isn't that cool? So by doing any one of those things, by like focusing our transformational energy on any one of those 3 things, we are helping them all. Together they rise. Together we rise. I love saying that. I almost burst into tears every time I say that. Okay, yes. So Dawn, this is why I'm connecting mushrooms to the feminine. So mushrooms came to mind the other day, and mushrooms, as we're beginning to know, and maybe you haven't tapped into this yet, but you will now, and then you'll start seeing it everywhere, right? So mushrooms are all over. They're growing all over our planet. And they are not only transforming the dead, bringing new life, right, to dead trees and things like that. They also have their roots, the mycelium, that go down into the dirt. And the mycelium are like the World Wide Web, interconnecting everything. The mushrooms, the mycelium from the mushrooms communicates to the trees. If there's a beetle coming, that the trees should produce something they produce that'll, distract, what's the word? Get rid of the bugs. So the mycelium are this invisible underground network that basically ensures that life can exist on this planet. So it's like one of those examples of things that have maybe been perceived as small or not that important, not that worthy. And now we're beginning to realize the magic. And for me, as we learn about things like this in nature, again, it connects back to creativity, it connects back to the feminine. So for right now, for your painting practice, you can just start painting that first layer like we did in the first open studio, where you're just spilling paint, doodling, playing with color, flipping the canvas around until you see something. Or you could take a moment and get curious about what symbol wants to let you know that it wants to play with you. What symbol of the feminine, of women's empowerment, of creativity, of Mother Earth wants you to paint it? Because here's the thing I've learned, that when we get these spontaneous urges, like painting mushrooms, seriously, I've been so excited to paint mushrooms all week. Or when I was doing Lakshmi Day and it was like, I just want to paint big flowers, like do it. So as we learn, one, to kind of follow that intuition, that ripples out into the rest of our life. Secondly, that image or symbol is being given to us because there's like a conversation that's wanting to be had, right? So if you weren't really sure how mushrooms connect to the feminine, you don't have to, but you could paint mushrooms, and I bet by the end of the painting, you would know exactly, right? Whether just that internal dialogue or whatever. Creativity is the feminine energy. It's the Shakti. And Mother Earth, of course, is a feminine energy. All of these are desperately needed to bring our world back into balance. That's why you are an artivist. Just by honoring your creative practice, by being someone who shows up with paint on your clothes, and your friends are like, you have paint on your clothes. Like, yeah, I was painting it. Like, I think all our inner wild women, all our wild woman archetypes, they all paint. They all have paint on their clothes, and they all have canvases laying around, propped against the wall on the floor. That self-expressed, authentic feminine, she paints, you paint. The more and more that we align with that, the more we give other people permission to do it. And that's when these rigid boundaries and rules and labels and old ways of doing things and these iron fists, like white knuckled, rigid opinions and spaces in our world are going to begin to loosen, right? Because they're so rigid, because they realize that they're on the way out. And again, it's an energetic thing, and there are no victims, and there are no like good guys, bad guys. We're all on the same team. We need all the roles being played. But this is what's happening right now. In March is like the launch pad. March 2023 is the launch pad. I won't get into all the astrology because I don't really know that much about astrology. It's just that March is so flippin' on. So if you know what you're going to paint, or even if you're not painting, if you're just joining us, but what's a symbol that comes through for you right now with the feminine or creativity or Mother Earth? Like what symbol or image is calling to you, like mushrooms did for me? And feel free to get out your paints. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question, whether it's like, okay, how do I make this jump out more, or, you know, whatever, any kinds of questions. We can have a conversation, of course. New leaves. Okay, yes, anything associated with spring, of course, the new growth, new beginnings, creativity, the feminine. Circles, of course. We're all circle and spiral ladies, aren't we? Right? There's something about, I feel like we all have a palette. I don't really have a favorite color. That changes, but I think we all have a palette and we have a shape. Like I'm definitely circles and kind of more of a jewel tone palette. Okay, Dawn, the phoenix rising. Well, think about it, Dawn, the phoenix rising from the ashes. You know, there was a period of time when the divine was feminine. I mean, it was Mother Earth. And women are the ones that gave birth to new life. You know, for tens of thousands of years, men didn't understand the role they played in that new life thing. It actually made them very insecure. Oh, okay. The symbol on my shirt, an eye, the double serpent, right? I don't. Well, when I come back on, I'll show you. The snake. I mentioned this in the first open studio, that I realized that the snake is very much connected to the journey of the feminine as well, because the snakes and women were blamed for the fall of man, right? So, I mean, that's why there's so much like, oh, bad, evil snakes. Snakes are amazing. The energy, the medicine of snake medicine, helping you shed your skin and live belly to belly with Mother Earth. Okay, so often I'm going to slip between left and right brain. What I normally do after the first layer, which, you know, you all know is like super fun and just full of drips and stencils, and I'll paint on the first layers forever. This was the first layer that was created. Last time I used this as the palette, and then I just spread it around. So this is an awesome first layer as well. So once I get the inspiration for what I want to paint, whether it's like this one where I was like, I want to paint mushrooms. So then I'm going to outline mushrooms, or I'll see something in here. You guys may see something. Sometimes I need to look in the video or like take a photo with my phone to see something, or like that's when it happens, right? So either way, whether you decide it's mushroom painting day, or you all of a sudden you see mushrooms from within the painting, then I outline, which the outlines don't have to keep going. So like look at those little mushrooms, right? So I outlined them, and then instead of painting in the mushrooms, I started going around the background, the negative space, to help them be able to be seen a little more. Right? So in other words, instead of actually painting the mushroom, I'm going to paint the space behind it and then kind of just blend it out with my finger. And I'm thinking I might continue to do that for a little while, because and use different colors. You know, these are going to end up kind of psychedelic mushroom looking, don't you think? I mean, they must. So whatever colors speaking to you. So this is super fun color. Got fluorescence in here. Someone left these with me. Is Susan here? Someone left me all these pretty fluorescents from the retreat. I love putting fluorescents in the under layers, especially. And then I also, okay, Colleen. Ooh, Jessica just picked a Phoenix Rising card. Yes, pulling a card is an awesome way to receive inspiration for what to paint. What was the other thing I was just going to say about that? It's left the brain. Okay. Does anyone want to hold up what they're painting or not yet? Okay, so these mushrooms are upside down now for you guys, just so you know, I flipped it back around. And this is where we get to really kind of get curious and observe ourselves, where, you know, we start getting in fear, like, oh, I can't draw mushrooms. These are going to look silly. Who wants a painting of mushrooms, right? Like, we just can start getting nervous about not doing it right. The fear can be sneaky, but we realize we really have nothing to fear in this process, right? Like, it's not going to cause any physical pain. You're not going to all of a sudden like start getting notifications that money is being withdrawn from your bank account. Like, it's just an activity. It's just like a meditation. But it gives us an opportunity to observe what triggers fear. Another tool that I use personally to identify and practice overcoming fear is playing Yahtzee. Has anyone else played Yahtzee? I played it a lot growing up. My kids, okay, Dottie plays Yahtzee. If my kids want to make me happy, every once in a while, you know, they seem to be considering that. And they'll be like, Mom, do you want to play a game of Yahtzee? Like, yeah. So with Yahtzee, I observed myself being so scared, like, oh, should I just take the full house, or should I go for Yahtzee, or do I write a 0, you know, in Yahtzee, or large straight? And then I'm like, Whitney, who cares? It's a Yahtzee game. Let's just be really brave playing Yahtzee. And so then I'll play Yahtzee just super brave. And, you know, sometimes I lose as a result, but like, even practicing losing, that's a good thing. So all these things that help us understand how fear is communicating to us, because it's very often quite subtle and we're not aware of it. And without our awareness, we are saying no to things or passing up on unstoppable dreams that were actually meant to well, see, now I'm losing track of what's a mushroom and what's not, but it's all going to be okay. Oh, Maria is being curious with a snake drawing. I like it. The other thing you might get curious about right now is remember your sacred symbol for the year. And when we look at the energies of astrology, of the cosmos right now, that is all about new beginnings and about bringing our dreams into our life experience. The Saturn wants to help you create the structures, which could be a community, could be, you know, an experience, a learning experience, could be a contact or a source of knowledge for you. But it's like, what do you need to make your idea or the thing that you've always wanted to do, which could be anything. It could be traveling somewhere, it could be buying a new house, or car or selling a house or a car. Or, I mean, it just could be anything because you don't know what's going to lead to what. Oh, look, I already have, okay. So down here in the bottom of the, show it like that. But so there were these braids I made before, but now they're like mushroom roots. They're like the mycelium. I don't know. I think you guys are all going to want to do a mushroom painting. I'm already really enjoying mushroom energy. A self-portrait with a spiral element. Ooh. If anyone wants to unmute and show us what you're painting right now, that would be super awesome. We so learn from each other. You can also, a beautiful goal is to experience a painting or like a painting session, like maybe you have, 30 minutes or something that you can paint. And to set the intention to be unconditionally loving of yourself for that 30 minutes. That might include dialogue like, man, I am really rocking, like turning the colors into mud. I am really good at layering the colors all over the canvas. I'm super good at painting things that don't look like anything, right? Just practice that kind of dialogue where you're cheering yourself on and your inner critic has gone on a well-deserved vacation somewhere. Where it's just a practice and really looking at things. Okay, so now I feel like this background is thoroughly pretty central. I'm going to go into the mushrooms a little bit. It's always a little bit of a, not like challenge, bad challenge, but like, can we keep the fun from that first layer, instead of painting over everything? Can we allow some of that to come through without painting over it all? So I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, good. Someone's unmuting. I'm going to do the same thing like I did with the background. Like I'm going to paint around the edges of some of the insides of the mushrooms and then just blend in. So I'm not losing all my background, but I can see the mushrooms more. Did someone want to say anything? Ooh. Liana, you got dove spirit? That is so fun. Yeah, so someone sent me a message privately about fear. It can be kind of like the mycelium, right? It can be this unseen thread that is connecting everything. I remember at one point, I don't know, last summer, let's say, and I remember thinking like, I don't want to get sunburned. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm even sitting here tapping into fear around that. I don't want to get bit by mosquitoes or sunburned, or, I mean, of course we don't want to get sunburned, but just really tuning into where fear is getting kind of triggered, activated. And there's so many opportunities. If you have children and a family, that can trigger fear. Coming into new stages of our lives, like, oof. I went skiing on Monday, backcountry skiing, and my friend, who's another paraglider pilot, older guy. Anyway, he hopped down below these big cornices, and I was like, you just were explaining to me how dangerous these were. So yeah, no, I'm not going to join you there. So I went off on my own to what, looked like a safer spot, but it was on top of this ridge and it was windy. And, the whole point is to not ski by yourself. And I started to get nervous, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I just going to start being more scared these days? Is it because of the wrist or what? And I'm just like, no, it's not going to happen. It takes awareness to keep the fear kind of at bay. And it's good to understand that we're, pushing boundaries and testing ourselves, not recklessly, but.
Whitney, it's
Yes.
Dana.
Hi, Dana.
Hi, I wanted to just I'm remembering back to when we did the journey back
Yeah.
into, was it 2012?
There was a journey in 2012.
Right?
Yeah.
And I remember you saying I have, PTSD, and I said, I really want to come. And you said, I remember you saying creatively brave. And I still to this day tell myself I'm being creatively brave.
Yes.
So thank you. And I'm doing it again. So
Yay. What are you painting?
I don't know because this is a spontaneous moment like it usually is for me. So
Yeah.
I don't think you can see it because I have a disaster. So I'm doing just like a self-portrait it's like a selfie that
Wow.
I'm just like, I don't know what. I'm going to just see
Nice.
what it brings. And, I guess I just need to embody the feminine myself. That's all.
Well, there you go. Well, that would be such a great
But I
exercise.
am feeling, go ahead.
Just such a great exercise, just painting a self-portrait, which I haven't done that very much. So that feels like a good little
Yeah, I just feel
creative
like I
challenge.
need to reconnect. Yeah, reconnect with myself.
Yeah.
So I'll stare at myself for a little bit. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, and how symbolic can that be, right? Like just this never ending journey of getting to know yourself. I remember my oldest, the one who has the podcast that I recommended to everyone the other day. She was like in high school, and she was saying something about kind of upset, feeling like she didn't really know herself. And I'm like, oh girl, like that's a never ending journey. Like we're going to spend most of our lives getting to know ourselves. And she kind of looked at me like, you've got to be kidding me. Really? Like my whole life I'm going to be doing this? I'm like, yeah. Kind of name of the game.
Yeah.
Hey, Whitney.
Yeah.
It's Bianca. Hi, guys.
Hi, Bianca.
Hi.
I wanted to make a comment about what you said about the fear, because the fear, that was something that was happening to me. And I've always been a little bit of a daredevil myself, and this and that. And it prompted me to use presence as one of my words, because what I was doing in fear was thinking ahead to what could happen.
Yep.
And thinking back to what had happened or stories I had heard. And then one of the ways that I find, that I told myself to tackle it was stay in the present moment where there's nothing to fear. Of course, you're not going to be crazy and do crazy, like you're not going to jump off a cliff, but,
right.
Just not imagine always the worst. Because I started getting into the cycle of saying, oh, but what if, and what if? And so presence is something that's helped me a lot with fear in the past couple of months.
I love that. And, what a wonderful opportunity to examine your relationship to fear, right? Like maybe the whole reason that Bianca and myself were just given these musings around fear was so that we could look at it and choose, like right now, how do I want to dance with this fear, right? So we could even start beating ourselves up for being afraid, where maybe the whole point is really to become more aware of fear and allow it to guide us in a new way. It's like being offered a new relationship to fear, as opposed to the way most of us were raised, where it was like, you know, anything scary is a no, no, no. Don't do it. It's not completely safe. That's how we learn. It's where we learn the lessons. So, and then when we overcome the fear, we've talked about that, right? That when we learn new things, our bodies literally bathe us in, was it serotonin or whatever the happy juice is, to like reward us. We're meant to learn new things. So it's just evaluating, is the new thing you're learning. I mean, again, right? Yeah, you don't want to do death-defying things, or you know what I mean, like, but lots is available. I had an experience today, which I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but I will soon. But partly because I want to let the cat out of the bag soon, I was dealing with this brand new technology thing. And oh my gosh, I ended up spending like almost 2 hours going through something that I had no idea I was going to do today. And it made me want to just forget about it. And I just kept going, keep swimming, just keep swimming. And I'm afraid to close any of the windows that I'm going to forget a step or something. I don't even know, but wow. What is available to us these days technologically is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So what's super fun is I'm seeing more and more mushrooms. They're coming, they're growing. You know how like when you see something peeking through, it's like, oh, that wants to be a mushroom too. Any other show and tells, musings? Oh, okay, Patricia, I'm going to pin your, look at that. That's a portal. We're exploring painting as a portal, right? Oh, and you have a friend with you. Yay. Oh, it's like a tree of life. That tree feels like harvest and abundance and ripening and yeah. Yay. Oh, Patricia, that's awesome. Oh, the Ganesha card. Love it. That's another great fun painting to paint, right? Is a Ganesha.
Andrea's been doing some of the Buddha, the owl, someone else. Yeah, she's been having a ball, just going like wildfire on the Buddha ladies.
Yeah. Can't have too many Buddha ladies, that's for sure.
No.
Okay, who else was just showing, holding something up? Is that Elizabeth? Okay, Elizabeth, hold on. I'm going to pin your video. Can you unmute yourself and just tell us what you're musing on? Or
I am 62 and I have been a therapist since I've been 25. And in the next 3 years, I'm going to be letting go of my practice that I've developed and moving into a different kind of work. And I am putting it into a cosmic egg that, you know, as I work in this, I don't want it just to be a job or a chore. I want it to be something real and blossoming and true. And so I'm intending this energy to that work. And it's going to be about wisdom work.
Wisdom work. Elizabeth, I love that.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And we all, right, as a collective, we can all just for a moment, like imagine Elizabeth in a couple of years doing the work that lights her up and is sharing her wisdom and activating wisdom within others. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Yeah, using these paintings as a manifestation tool is for real. I mean, think about it. You're creating symbolically into your reality what you want more of. And you can allow that painting. I mean, every painting in my house has an energy, a message, and intention that it's boom, 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 like 24/7, right? Creating this energetic space. And when you paint a painting like Elizabeth just mentioned, she can make that her screensaver. You can copy it and, stick it in your car, like have it out and about. But over the years, that's going to keep reminding you to maintain your thoughts and your ideas and your dialogue, inner dialogue, outer dialogue, in a way that is in coherence with that vision. Right? It like makes it more and more real. And the more and more real that you make it, the easier it is to keep imagining into it happening. Right?
And you taught me that.
Well, yes, but I just reminded you. Yes.
This is Renee, and I watched the live studio or the replay of it, and I said, by golly, I'm showing up tonight. And I'm at a place in my life where my income just dropped a couple $1,000s a month because of the divorce support that is complete.
Yes.
And I'm kind of scared, and I'm like, no, this is not the time to be small.
Yeah.
And just asking what messages wanted to come forth, and it's not done yet, but the message I'm getting, especially being International Women's Day, is it started with a crown down here, and there is a feminine owl like down there. And when I think of a crown, I think of a diamond and how we are here to shine and sparkle our light. And these things started showing up, and they're like the magic pulling the diamond to shine, shine, shine. And then these hearts are showing up. And the biggest message is you are held in layers of love, layers of love. So it's like, okay, girl, keep going. Don't get small. Just stay with it, and abundance is yours.
Yes. Yes.
Thanks.
And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Oh my gosh, Renee, I know that so well.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too about that journey. Like when I was leaving my marriage, I was working with a shaman the whole time, which was absolutely so good. And at one point, because I was being very kind financially to the man, but I didn't totally throw myself under the bus, but I was checking in, like, am I supposed to take more of this? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, only if you feel like you would need it to keep the kids safe, but you're meant to work. Right? Like I could be independently wealthy right now, but that's not like, I'd probably still be doing this, but it wouldn't have been like, it wouldn't be as abundant because I've been needing to make a living doing this work. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So these journeys we go on, whether it's because of a divorce and, and then like the child support is gone now and all the things, right? So I know that feeling and that fear, like anticipating it. And what if, right? Like we're meant to be in this space of like, okay, now where can I source that support, that financial security, that whatever for myself? What are all the ways? And in the process of doing that, you will probably end up interacting with the world in a way that's going to make it a better place.
I'm sure I know that's a trajectory that I'm on,
Yeah.
but it's like, oh, I'm 65 and I've got disabilities and and I have to be really careful with my energy and blah, 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 blah. So those things pop up too.
Yeah.
Although I know they're just pop-ups. They're not the truth. I mean, they're the truth, but they can be overcome. So it's a trying to not let all this suck me in to be small, but to be that diamond
Yes.
shining in her fullness, knowing that she will find sources to share her gifts and receive the abundance back.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
it gets scary. It's
Absolutely,
scary
it
sometimes.
does. It is real. The struggle is real. Absolutely. For sure. For sure. And, you know, I mean, I do all the things, like even just the last couple of weeks, you know, I've said out loud, you know, whoever, whatever, whether it's energy frequency, whether it's your higher self, Jesus, whatever it is for you, right? The part of you that you're connected to that's bigger, that isn't limited by this physical reality. You ask out loud, you know me, you know my heart's desires, you know my limitations, and I know you can, you know, bring whatever, right? And you just stay open. So, you know, a shift for in, you know, the collective, as far as the way we've been conditioned, which again, no good or bad, right or wrong, just an is to kind of focus on what's wrong or bad. I mean, that's what sells, and, you know, everyone's trying to keep you safe. And so they focus on those things. And what we're being encouraged to do is to focus on everything that's possible. Right. And, you know, you've heard that, like, instead of defending your limitations, right, like just open up to what's possible. Or in 30 Days to Unstoppable, the alignment sphere, one of the greatest teachings is that if there's something that's not in alignment, like say, okay, being worried about money and being in scarcity, this is not in alignment with who I am. So you focus on all the ways, all the areas, all the examples, everything you can attach to that vibrates, that feels like abundance, that you love, that lights you up. And then what's not in alignment has to fall away. But if you keep focusing on, and I'm not speaking just to Renee, I'm speaking to myself. When we focus on what we don't want, which is not hard to do, like it's really easy because it's up, right? And when we focus on it, like that's what we're expanding. So the trick is, and this is for me why the biggest reason I paint, is because I need the forced time at the canvas. I need the energetic, symbolic product, like Kali, that's going to help me through my silver years, right? Like I paint the allies, I paint the energy that it's like, come with me, come on, let's do this. Because if I just leave myself floating in the to-do list and all the ways that life just keeps distracting us, the fear is real, right? So this is another reason why this practice is so valuable. Why, as creatively fit coaches, we're just creating space for people to enter into this, you know, non-judgmental, there are no mistakes kind of painting, so that people can learn and understand, like, this is someplace I can go when I'm feeling wobbly, right? Okay, Maggie says, could you talk more about need and abundance? Yes. Maggie, can you unmute yourself and just add a couple more sentences to that? Like,
sure. Some of what you're talking about kind of sounded like it was held in a tension, like in almost like a paradox, that
okay.
the need that pushes you forward, you were saying, like,
Yeah.
You know, I could be independently wealthy, but I had the need to work. Are you talking about like vocation and like something that kind of wells up within you? It's like, I have to do this thing because it's my destiny. Or are you talking about like, I have a need and therefore it's attracting to fulfill it.
So in that regard, the need was like, I'm here to do this work, and not needing to work to pay the bills would have slowed down, would have reduced the amount of time, energy I put into this work, right?
So it's about calling.
Yeah, if at all possible, right? The goal is to spend your time doing something that is attached to a bigger vision, purpose, right? And likewise, let's leave room for the fact that that might not be your journey. Like maybe your journey is intense self-care because you've already experienced the other. So, and for me, and as someone speaking to women entrepreneurs and other people in the arts, right? Like it can get really easy, like the same thing, the same tasks, the same to-do list, like writing the email sequences to promote the coaching training, like that can be a chore, and it can be like, I don't want to do it. Or it could be like, whoa, I get to share information and stories. I can do this in a way that feels good. Like anyone who opens these emails and reads them is going to learn something, right? Or is going to be shown a different perspective, or just be able to look at something a little differently. Like what is a message that is up right now? And I felt like that artivist, because I think we all have an inner desire to help, to be of service, right? Like we see there's just so many needs out there. I mean, I just don't even want to go into them. So it's like, how can I make a difference? And this makes a difference, helping people to remember into a painting practice, especially when they're like, oh, I can't paint, I can't draw, blah, blah, blah. There's so much that will change on the other side of it. And being able to spend your time and committing to like, yeah, I'm gonna spend time this next chapter in my life liberating other people's creative spirits. Heck yeah. Right. And even that, the shift from like earn extra income as a creatively fit coach versus I'm going to be an artivist. Right? Like that feels, yeah, yes, please. So we can get creative with just about anything, right? Things that we don't want to do, responsibilities we have. In my married life, for example, this is just a funny, silly, like weeding the garden was this, oh, we got to go out and weed the garden. And, so-and-so got super stressed about that all the time. And now in my life, in my house, it's like, I'm going to go connect to Mother Earth. Right? I'm going to go soak up minerals and the, what are the other things we want to, anyway, right? Like that's my grounding time. It becomes sacred. So, I've seen people shift. This one woman in a book club one time for some reason, was taking care of a grumpy old man once a week, and she hated it. And we had this kind of conversation, and she messaged me the next week. She goes, I'm actually enjoying it now. Right? She just totally flipped it. It was same experience, but she started looking at it from a different angle. Maybe the ability she had to help him or introduce new ideas, or she didn't even go into detail, but she's like, I'm not dreading it anymore. And that's what comes from nurturing this creative awareness, right? So, and the thing is, another thing that's coming to mind with the kind of need, want aspect is that, like sometimes I feel like our desires, like my desire to buy a house after, I've been renting for a long time. I mean, I just got back from Colombia, right? Like people live, so many people per house, little spaces, like we all live in castles compared to what most people in Colombia live in. It's not necessary. And, you know, my journey to get to the house involved me taking back power and aligning with things and showing up in ways that I choose to believe all benefited someone somewhere, right? So even though it was like, I want to buy a house, the journey to get there led to lots of learning, teaching, sharing moments for me as well as others, right? So if there's a vision that you have that like really lights you up and is distracting you, like, oh, I keep thinking about that, then that's something to pay attention to and get really curious about and open up to all the ways that it can happen. Things can happen in very unexpected ways, right? So unpacking it. Thank you, Vicki. I don't know if I missed her. She's already gone. Oh yeah, 4:59 already. Jeez. Okay, let me go back to mushroom painting. Does anyone else want to share what you're painting?
Yeah, hi. Oh,
No, go ahead, Carrie, and then whoever was next.
okay. I'm not sure if you're going to see this. I've done it in watercolor. It's quite,
Koala.
and to me, the koala, it's about mindfulness and relaxation. And we have a saying that if you're in a hurry, sit down. And that's a real koala thing. So to me, it's yeah, they're very feminine, and I'm just at the moment, I'm just called to paint koalas. So
I love it. That's beautiful.
so
Oh,
yes,
so precious.
that's my koala sitting down.
I love it. I love it. That energy of relaxation, right? And the earth and the bear and fabulous. And it makes me think of when there were all those fires in Australia, right? And the koalas and the bears, people were rescuing them from the forests, and
Yeah,
right, that was intense
very intense.
for the koalas.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing.
no problem.
Thanks for being here. Who else was speaking up when Carrie started?
I was.
Hi, Marissa.
Hi. So when I started painting, took me most of this time to sort of see like what was emerging from it. And I sort of felt like at the bottom corner was the earth, and then at the top was the sky and the moon, the universe. And then just in the last few minutes, I sort of saw this person dancing in the middle of it all. Dancing between the earth and the moon and the universe.
I love it. I almost see them. It's almost like their knees are bent, like they just jumped, right?
Yeah.
Like they jumped off the planet and are touching the stars, and then they'll bounce back down like a trampoline.
Exactly.
That is fun. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Oh my gosh. Love, love, love.
Hi, Whitney,
Hello.
Candy.
Hi, Candy. There you are. And if you
Yep.
guys want to share, if you raise your hand, if you go to the bottom where it says reactions and raise your hand, then you'll be right up on the top of the screen, just in case. Hello, darling. How are you today?
I am well, and you?
Yes, very well. Thank you.
There's a lot going on here. I don't think I was there for the first session, but I watched the replay, and
Thank you.
these little things down here, it's gonna be really weird. Reminded me of sperms.
Okay. Yes.
The little things up here of little ovrums, little eggs. And I've been having a real struggle with masculine power lately.
Oh.
But I'm trying to birth something new for myself. And so you need masculine and feminine energy together. And what I'm trying to decide has to do with being a circle keeper. I'm a circle keeper for women's groups, and I'm not real confident about it, but the feather came. And the scepter. But I
Wow.
think there's a face happening back here too.
Yes, I totally see it completely. The eyes and the nose and the mouth and the everything.
Yep, and the sunshine came out and the flowers started blooming. And so I think I'm on the right path.
Right?
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
been so
It's
much
almost-
fun.
It's like watching the movie of your life just a little bit like it's unrolling, being revealed to you right there at the canvas.
Right. And I'm also trying to make a decision about whether to take your Creatively Fit coaching certification program or to come and be present with you in October or to do both. So,
both.
So this is part of that too.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, Candy, geez, thanks for bringing that up, because I will speak to that. And if anybody has questions about the coaching training, and of course, all you coaches here, I mean, you might as well give Candy your 2 cents, right? Your 2 million. Yeah, the Creatively Fit coaching training, first of all, it's like the greatest gift I've ever been given. And the community of coaches, there are some men, but not very many, but very lovely men. Anyway, it is a circle, a community that is so like loving and open and supportive, and just, you get the feeling that if you ever needed anything, that group is gonna be there for you. It's just pure magic. And part of it is, I think, well, there's lots of underlying energies, right? But the call to help people align with this new creative story, you know, the fear most people have around the canvas is so perfectly there, so that coming to the canvas and learning how fun and freeing it can be is completely transformative. Besides the fact that that creative awareness only knows hope, only knows possibility. And that's what we need on this planet right now. So in the coaching training, and this might be a different thing for you guys to share, you know, rather than just like, do it, it's the best decision you'll ever make, which is what most coaches would say. But the other thing is how there is such a spectrum of structure and support, depending on what you get called to do with your coaching training, right? So like on one side, there is outlines, workshop outlines, how to coach people through my online programs. So you don't even have to create your own online programs, right? There are, you know, support during the training about how to create online programs, how to do videos, how to, all the things. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there is my genuine passion for witnessing how this work comes through you. You know, your journey, your story, what you love, and how this really quite simple message, like pick up a paintbrush and get some paint and make your mark. All the ways that can happen. And everything I teach, like every single thing, every workshop, telesummit, everything has a foundation in the courses and the experiences that we have in the coaching training. So it's like infinitely creative, right? Like the right word isn't coming to me. So you can take what you learn and adapt it in so many different ways. And I love that about it. And since I've been doing this training since 2010, right there, it's like this huge buffet, and you have lifetime access, and it really never ends. Like it's a 7-month training, right, ladies? But it really never ends because we keep collaborating, or there's online training, or there's retreats, or, you know, it's just a constant. And some people come in and out of the community, you know, because things happen in their life, and they're always welcomed back in. And usually they've gone out and sourced some more experience and, you know, inspiration, and come back. And it's just a very dynamic, alive, loving, amazing thing. So yeah, and March, with this astrology that's going on, all the new beginnings, like this is like this amazing launch pad. And this group that starts in March, there are going to be some changes that I'm going to announce for the October group, but you guys are going to get kind of first access to it. And it's kind of piggybacking on the artivism and making it even easier for coaches to really reach a lot of people. So it's just constantly changing and evolving, which I love. Like, I love the creative aspect of it. And people could also comment, I suggest 4 to 6 hours a week. Everything's recorded. Facebook group, so you can like stay engaged even if you don't, you know, can't make a call. And you know, it's very like high touch, right? So Maria, did you want to share something? And then I do actually have a telesummit interview in 20 minutes, so you guys have to remind me because I don't want to forget it. Hi, Maria.
Hello. Yes. Well, let me show.
Yeah, let's see what you're painting. These mushrooms are way too fun.
See if
Oh my gosh, look at your snakes.
Yes. And I put my color and I got
The snake
3
family.
going. Yes.
I love it. And what
So.
have you, what's the message from the snake?
At the moment, it's you are light so far, and then also that I'm enough and going to be able to do all my dreams. So
Mm.
and yes, and no, and I want to say that I'm going to be teaching some ladies in person.
Yes.
Yes, starting on Monday. So for a 6-week, 1-hour thing. So, and I could have never done it without going through the program and continuing. And so, yeah, and it has continued to change me in so many ways. So I would highly recommend it. And and you have always been so supportive, and everybody is. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful way to get us out of our shell and look. And so, and then to have the possibilities for creating all kinds of art.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Maria. That's exciting about your class. I can't wait to see pictures.
You're welcome. I'll tell more. So I'm getting back into things. So connection.
Yay.
Yes.
Awesome. Congratulations, my dear.
Thank you. And then I can't wait for October. So
yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yay. If you haven't heard the October retreat, it's because I haven't really announced it yet. I've just posted to the people that went last year in the Creatively Fit Coaches, but I will announce it soon because there are already almost 20 people registered and there's only 50 spots. So anyway, yay. Yes. Renee, held in layers of love. I loved when you said that. Hannah, you had your hand up. Did you want to come back or you had a child come in the room or something? Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the Creatively Fit coaching training first or anything else? Any left brain questions? I can handle those too. There's lots of left brain, right brain. I love it. Okay, good. Any other show and tells? You want to share the energy of what you've been creating for our Women's International Day of the Woman? Oh my gosh.
I'll share for a second.
Oh, please.
Hey,
Jessica.
I want to just touch on to what you said about being here for a long time and coming in and out of the community. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Jessica Faraday, and I have been with Whitney since, I don't know, like forever ago. It feels like 1,000 years, but it's been like 10. I'm not sure, but for a long time. And I have come in and out several times for trainings. I was just a guide in the last Creatively Fit training. And the thing about that and the opportunities with the programs that Whitney has and all the different ways that you can use them is everything. You have a different perspective every time you come in to a training. You're in a different portion of your life. other things have happened to you, you have different perspective. And so like even coming in and being a coach in the training, the material, even though it's not very different from the first time I did the training, you receive different things from the new experience that you have. Even if you're going through as a student again, you will have new experiences. So I love all of that about this, and the welcoming of coming in and out. You are never, there's no pressure or guilt or anything about being who you are and coming into the places that you are in your life. So what I've been creating since we've been on the call, I'm so excited that I got home in time and was able to get here, is about my voice. It's becoming a butterfly is what it's starting to become. But I was really called to use script and words, and I tore out just little pages from the book, just a random book that I had. This says chapter 1. This one is just by her voice. And over here, and I'm gonna cry. Over here in the heart, it says her words, she said it. And then the last two down here, a woman's voice, the voice came back. And I've been having a lot of trauma over the last 7 years of my life. Part of the reason that I came into this program was to help develop and process and find this right here. So it's very exciting to me to come to the canvas and create whatever, and to have it be so personal, and yet very free to share. I don't ever feel judgment from the canvas. And when I was in the open studio that I led for the training, I don't remember what was said, but my response was, it's always a yes when you go to the canvas. And everyone loved that. And I loved that. I thought, yeah, it's always a yes when you go to the canvas. There is no when you go to the canvas. It's just always a yes. So that's what I'm creating here, you know, and the butterfly, I feel like it's the transformative piece of it that is really, that drew me to that as being the focal piece. You know, the caterpillar is emerging from the cocoon, the voice is coming out, and now the beautiful butterfly will appear. So that's what's happening over here on my little canvas.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing.
You are welcome. Thank you for allowing me to share. And thank you for just delivering all of this to the universe. You know, it's magical.
It is magical. I love it. I love. You know, that's another thing around kind of a wound that we've all been healing. Okay, good, Nora, 1 second. And just around the whole, like, oh, it's not about the money, you know, or like if it's spiritual or artistic or whatever, charging money, all that kind of stuff, right? Money is energy. That's it. Money is energy. And we put our energy and our money on things that we value. And people love what happens when they begin valuing their creativity and their inner journey, right? And when we honor that ourselves as Reiki masters, yoginis, as therapists, all the things, we're able to hold a container that can receive the abundance, but then it also makes you able to be more abundant, right? You can be more generous. And that flow is really healthy, right? When you are in your worthiness and working in alignment with that worthiness in a way that is sustainable for you energetically, which means also financially, that then you're also able to offer from your overflow, right? That's the goal, right? There will be no need when people are honoring their hearts, earning the energy that they need, and then they are way more like selfless in the sharing because they're doing it from a place of love. And so that's the key, is bringing those things into alignment and understanding and really like making your own story around money and finances, which I did over the course of many years after leaving, you know, all the money thing. So, and it's a beautiful journey of getting to know yourself and your real value. So get excited about that if you're feeling like, oh, I'm ready for that journey. Hey, Nora, unmute yourself, please. There you are. You don't have.
There we go. There we go. Oh, this is my first time doing this, and just like to say thank you. I signed up for I think the meditation painting class a month or so ago. Still waiting to get to that on my list of things to get to. So anyway, I'm a neutrals girl, so I'm pushing myself and through all the colors on
lovely.
here. So, you know, got a mushroom, and I've also relate to the butterfly. I've been kind of on deconstruction, growth. I'm 60 years old, and, you know, poured myself into raising my children and taking care of my family, and then got to the end of that, and I have no effing idea who I am, what I want, all those things. So just finding myself, and art and being creative is definitely a life-giving thing to me, and brings me a lot of joy and freedom. So just thank you for the opportunity to get way outside of my usual comfort zone.
Oh my gosh, Nora, you are so welcome. And, you know, that could be a beautiful meditation for all of us at the canvas. I know it's been for me, just like that. I get to do whatever I want here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or like today I'm going to be wild woman, or today I'm going to be like intuitive woman, or today I'm going to be detail oriented woman. Like, you know, we can explore different aspects of ourselves, and along the way, right? Your natural self, the part of you that, you know, had to take a backseat to a large extent, right? Raising a family and everything. But the other aspects of you can come out to play, and that creative space where it's non-judgmental and it's open and receptive is a beautiful way to nurture that. So yes, thank you for saying yes to the painting meditation. Such a fun, simple, powerful course. Amanda, hello, darling. Australia, I love it. When I do this later, my Australian friends come.
Hello. Yes. Oh, I'm in between two things, and it was like, no, I'm stopping. What was I going to say? Yes, I'm one of the in and out long-term Whitney people. But what I wanted to say was, even though I don't do a lot of the online courses as a coach, I just walk around being all that. And I'm in all these art clubs, and I sit along these fine artists who win big competitions for bird. Oh, it's incredible. I love them. But it's always, I want to paint with Amanda. I want to do what Amanda's doing. And so I get a lot of my people that way, just by pure osmosis, like sitting there with my finger painting or whatever. And you were talking about allies, Whitney, and when I'm feeling in life challenged, I have to go to the canvas to find an ally. So what I started yesterday, I'm not sure if I can turn my camera around. I'll do it this way. I don't know. Can you see that? I can.
Yes. Oh my gosh. She's like a waterfall of.
Yep. So it was a waterfall. I think I painted it during Vision Quest a few years ago. So it's sitting as a waterfall. I picked it up the other day to do a workshop with some teenage girls. I was just going to show them spirals or something. And then she came, and I think it's Eshel. And for her, Black Panther is the woman of the being of power. I'm doing this blind. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep, we can.
Yeah, so that's what I did while I was listening to you. And I was like, oh, no, doing a panther, come on, that's too hard. I just want to do like mushrooms and spirals because I'm listening. But I did it. And I'm very, So Black Panther showed up for Women's Day. And
That's so exciting. I was just showing my friend who was visiting a painting that has a Black Panther. I'm like, it's supposed to be a jaguar, which is probably the same thing. I'm like, it kind of looks like a bear, but it's a jaguar. She's like, either one.
Yeah, exactly. And that you can put animals together like I do often, right? And they can become whatever, Thank you, Whitney.
We can do anything we want at the canvas, right? And when you open up to that, it gets easier and easier to honor that same frequency, that same energy in the art that is your life. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. I was
Yeah,
walking.
well, that's what's coming.
Yeah. I was walking a yoga class yesterday and I had like this funny hat on because it has rabbit fur inside. It's so soft. And I'm walking down the street. I'm like, I'm kind of feeling like a feral cat lately. I'm like, I'm not even really a cat person, but I'm like, I just feel kind of feral. And I think this winter, you know, between the travel and then when I'm home, I've really just been home because I'm like creating away and then I go travel. And so I'm like in this liminal space. And when you create moments like that, even painting, you know, it opens up new possibilities. So
thank you.
You're welcome, my dear. Okay, does anyone have anything that you are dying to say? Because I do have to sign off here and do this. It's some like Aquarian Age Summit thing, so it's going to be super fun. I'm sure, of course, you guys will hear about it soon. But does anyone have anything else they want to share or ask?
Whitney, it's Elaine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Whitney. This was a very unexpected session to be able to join you for. I was supposed to be going to my church choir and they canceled. And so I'm here and I've been in this place of trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do here. So I grabbed this, I don't even know what these are called, but they glow in the dark. And I had to put on this necklace and I don't know why. And so you said mushrooms. So I'm going mushrooms. And didn't really know what to do with the mushrooms, but here's a mushroom. So I'll show you what I did. And so
I see like a little fairy monster in that mushroom.
I know, isn't that, you know, and actually I was going to try to do a self-portrait. Someone mentioned self-portrait. So I was taking all the vocal cues from everyone that was in this session and I'm thinking, okay, portrait. And so so that is some aspect of me in it. And then I took the idea of the communication between the mushrooms to the trees, and I just dotted sort of some communication dots between in blue from the blue mushroom to the yellow mushroom and a yellow mushroom to the blue, which merged into green. And so I'm always reaching for relationships in my life. And I had to merge the relationship of the blue and the yellow together. And I am a tree hugger. So forest is sort of manifesting in this. And then the shape of these are those ribbons that you see everywhere. Every ribbon has a different disease or something that it's supposed to represent. Well, then all of a sudden, because you know I am the dancer, these became dancing ribbons. And
I love it. Oh my gosh, Elaine, so fun. I love that idea of just taking prompts from what everybody says. You know, it's very cool.
It does. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I did. So I've been with Whitney for since the beginning of 2020. And, you know, you have started my journey into even touching paints. And the Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavatu, I painted that into my first painting with you was the Tara, the green Tara. And I only got to 17 with it and Tara said, stop. So I stopped there and I created this little gallery in the corner of lighting is a little dark here. So these are my paintings and I'm not one to put holes in walls. So I started stacking them and I really like the way this levels, you know.
Oh, that's so fun. Elaine, we do have to say goodbye, but I'm so glad you were able to make it. It's lovely to see you in your glow stick necklace. I just love that. Absolutely.
I would love to see you in October. My birthday is in October.
You absolutely should. Absolutely. It's going to be a blast. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for being here. We have 2 more open studios coming up. You know, I'll be emailing you. Yes, if you are being tempted by the Creatively Fit coaching training, like email me if you have questions. Absolutely sign up. People are signing up now and getting in there and, you know, getting oriented, and the Facebook group is up and it's just going to be a blast. So I cannot wait. And, you know, I love you all so much. Thank you for playing with me and for coming and painting, and share your paintings as they evolve in the Whitney Freya studio group. Here are my mushrooms. You can see some of them, right? I'm excited to like take a step back and look at it. So much fun. Yeah, if everyone wants to hold up what you painted, thank you, Gail. Yeah, hold it up so we can see. Oh, Bianca, look. And Liana, wow, those are gorgeous. Charlotte, Nora, Elaine. Oh my gosh, Candace. Delonix. I love it. I love the eye. Oh my gosh, eyes do make me so happy. All right, everyone, be an artivist, however it is. Post your painting, like share. It's not about having talent or being skillful. It's about creating. Life is art. Living life is art. That is what we're meant to do. And I appreciate all of your presence here. It would be nearly as fun without you. If you watch,
rock.
Bye. Okay, everyone, have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.